Hello. Welcome in. Hello, everyone. It's Friday. Hello, Palm. Hey, Shirley. Doot, doot, doot. Hello. Hey, Ray Bab. Hello, Super Like Marketing. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to Paranormal Files Live. Hey, Julie. Hello, hello. Hey, Pamela. Hey, Sandy. Hello, welcome in. It's Friday night, and it is time for a story. I know. Hey, Tara. Hey, X. Hey, Rebecca. Come on in. Just getting some stuff ready here for audience questions. Hey, Melanie. Thank you for the FYF. Hello, Cher Bear. Welcome in. Hey, Leslie Marie. How you feeling, honey? Hey, Sandy. Let's start tapping, reposting, sharing to your story. What else? Sing your dailies. Oh, share to your FYF if you would. All of that helps. So thank you so much. Hey, Hopi Love, Little Butterfly. Thank you for the heart beam. Cindy, thank you for the Go Popular. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in to all the silent seekers. Tonight's gonna be good. Oh, I bet they did, Leslie. I'm sure they did. I know I would. Sandy, thank you for the rose. Pamela, thank you for the heartbeat flex. Thank you. Palm, thank you for the TGIF. Thank you, thank you. Shirley, thank you for the heartbeat. I'm trying to keep up with all these. Palm, the new title gifter of TikTok. Good job. Let's share this live. Share it with 5 friends, 10 friends, 15 friends. If everybody shares with at least one, let's say 5, the chances are one will come in and watch. Hey, Tigger, how are you? Thank you for the repost. Right. I couldn't believe how good that the live looked the other night when I watched it back. I was really thrilled about it, the way that it looked. Just testing the pics, making sure everything is working. Do, do, Hey, Justine. Oh, awesome. I am glad to hear that. I've been working hard. Happy New Year, Shirley. Happy New Year. Hey, Tracy. Anybody watch the elevator footage yet? Hey, Pink. No, I am not. I am not going live on YouTube until we are able to be monetized. We got to have that 1,000 followers. So if you haven't followed on YT or the Y channel, please do so. We're at 552 followers, I believe, but there is still some work to be done. Now, I will be posting professional videos from my TikTok live onto the White channel daily. So you will be able to watch them on there and have the full experience that everyone is able to have on TikTok. Hello, M. Moorhead. Thank you for the follow. Hey, Veronica. Welcome in. Hello, Mia. Hey, Jim Rocks. Four minutes. I want everyone to feel like they have a good experience on the live. And White channel, we're just not able to do that yet. We got to get that 1,000. And then we'll be able to have super live streams. It's the same channel, Leslie. It's just Paranormal Files Live. Hey, Exotic Girl, welcome back in. Yeah. So share the Y channel with everyone that you can possibly think of. And let's get to that 1,000. We got the viewing hours. We did that. I know we can get the followers, the subscribers that we need. Just remember, it's free. Totally free. Thank you for the FYF. Hey, Goddess Lovely. Share, 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 repost. You can only repost once, so make sure that you do that during this live, and thank you so much. In Moorhead, thank you for the repost. Thank you so much. Hey, Andrew. Did I say hi once? Well, you got a second hello. Hey, Diana. Thank you for the repost. Oh, that's good to know. Two minutes. Tonight's gonna be good. You do not want to miss this. Hey, Elevated Goddess. Welcome in. Do you like the paranormal? Do you like all things that go bump in the night? Then hit that follow button and the notification bell and never miss another Paranormal Files Live. I almost said the other channel. Another blooper. On this channel, yes. On my main channel, I tell dark stories. Gamble tabs. Thank you for the follow. You're not going to want to miss Twisted Tales Live anymore. It's about to get real. Let's do one more round. Just wait till Tuesday night. Rebecca. I already have cold chills. Yeah, so Twisted Tales is dark horror stories. Short stories by me. Oh, I'm glad you're here, Andrew. I am so excited about this page. It is growing. Paranormal lovers are filing in, and I am so glad about that. If you love the paranormal, please follow. Please follow so you don't miss a case. This case this week, we are wrapping it up with the Cecil Hotel, Elisa Lam. It has been one of the most chilling cases that we have covered, and wait till next week. We got another one on the way. Okay, Sandy, so I have to reach 1,000 followers on here before I can put my link tree. So that's why I want to get to 1,000 followers as quickly as possible. If you know someone who is a paranormal lover, suggest to it that they come over here because once we have that, we can put the link on there. Yeah. So I gotta meet 1,000 followers. True Seeker, thank you for sharing the live. Yes, I am still going to put the stories on YouTube, but now they're going to look very professional. They will have the backgrounds that everyone has on TikTok, so it'll look really nice. Welcome, Seekers. My name is Bryn Morgan, and I'm a horror author. I'm also a lover of the paranormal, and that is why I started Paranormal Files Live. Have you ever wanted to tell someone your experience and they look at you like, is she all there? Is she crazy? There's no such thing as the paranormal, and you felt like you just couldn't talk about it? Well, guess what? If you love the paranormal, you have came to the right place. We dive and delve into the deepest paranormal cases from around the world. This is case number 7, the Cecil Hotel, Elisa Lam. It's gonna go deep tonight, so I hope you're ready. As always, tonight's story is one that asked to be listened to closely and carried longer than you might expect. Let's begin. The sound of an old building settling. Creaking. Wind through a broken window. Water dropping. Then whispers. Multiple voices overlapping. Voice number 1 is a woman from the 1950s. She's desperate. She checked into the Cecil Hotel, room number 70. You can hear her in the bathroom, looking in the mirror, mascara running down her cheek. Her husband left her for a younger woman. She doesn't know how she's going to make it. She asked her mom for some money. She has just enough to check into a hotel, the Cecil Hotel. You can hear her voice as she reaches in her bag. I can't do this anymore. I just can't. She unalives herself. You hear a window opening, the wind rushing, a scream, Silence. She jumps. There's a man in the 1980s. They'll never find her. Not here. This building is a piece of trash. It'll keep my secrets. A child. The exact year is unknown, but she's crying. She goes up to the front reception desk. Hello? The receptionist looks down. Can I help you, honey? Mommy said she'd be right back. But she didn't come back. She went out the window. Richard Ramirez, 1985. His voice is cold. Perfect place for you to disappear. No one asks questions here. No one gets too close. A recent guest in 2010. Fearful. You can hear it in her voice. Something's wrong with this place, Jack. I can feel it. It's watching, it's waiting, it's hungry. Honey, there is nothing wrong with this hotel. We're just gonna stay here until I get my first paycheck. I don't like it, Jack. I don't like it one bit. Elisa Lamb, 2013. She's confused and scared. Why won't anyone help me? Can't they see that someone is following me? It wants me. All these voices overlap, crescendo, then stop. Total silence. The Cecil Hotel, 640 South Main Street, Los Angeles, California. Built in 1924, 100 years old this year. For a century, this building has been a magnet. A magnet for what, Bryn? For death. Dozens of people that unalive themselves, jumping from windows, overdosing in their rooms from pipes. Multiple schmurders, pokers, pew-pews, strangled, beaten, bodies left to rot before anyone notices it. Did you know that there were 2 serial unalivers that used the Cecil Hotel as their burning ground, as their hunting ground? Slept there between their predatory nights, disposed of bloody clothes in the dumpsters, walked the same hallways as innocent guests. Countless overdoses, countless bodies, countless screams in the night that no one ever investigated. And in 2013, a 20-year-old named Elisa Lamb became the latest victim? Was it mental illness? Yes. Was it the building? Did it have something to do with it? We'll make that decision tonight. Was it something more sinister, perhaps? Maybe. Welcome to the final night of our investigation into Elisa Lamb and the Cecil Hotel. I'm Bryn Morgan. So Monday we met Elisa, who she was, her life, her death. Wednesday we analyzed the evidence, the elevator footage. Have you watched it yet? The discovery, the investigation. Tonight we go deep into the Cecil Hotel's dark history, as I promised you that we would. Every death, every schmurder, every moment of darkness. And then I will tell you what I believe happened to Elisa, and I will give you your chance to tell me as well. It's not a simple answer, because the fact of the matter is this case doesn't have one. And that is what is so frustrating. Did she have a mental illness? Yes. Was it paranormal? I'll let you know what I think at the end. Was it foul play? I don't think that can be ruled out. This is a case where everything is true. A perfect storm of darkness. Let's investigate the building where Elisa died. Because to understand what happened to her, you need to understand this place. The Cecil Hotel, Seekers. It's not just a location. It's a character. It's a predator. It's evil. Final roll call. Have you been here for all 3 nights? Monday, Wednesday, and tonight? What's your location? Where you're from? Do you believe that the Cecil Hotel is cursed or haunted? Or are you a skeptic? Do you think it's just a building? The number 4, type out, this is real. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. True Seeker from Wyoming. We have them all over the house. Hey, Amy, how are you? Welcome in. Always good to see you. Long Beach, California. Kim says, yes, I've been here all 3 nights, and it is more than just a building. Goddess Lovely says, yes, Massachusetts. Pamela says, I missed Wednesday. Kim from Nebraska, Exotic Girl, I believe there's something really wrong with the hotel. I have been there for 2 nights. Uh-oh, you might have to share. Julie from New Orleans. Melanie, all 3 nights. Mississippi. Diana, Ohio, been here all 3 nights. Thank you for the roses. Thank you so much. So, looks like most of you already believe. Believers, I'm sure there are some skeptics, but they want to stay quiet about it, right? Brand new, welcome in, the number 4 type out. So good to have you here. Hey, Monkey Rainbow. Thank you for the heart me. Queen Loyal, thank you for the heart me. Oh, just wait. If you are a skeptic, by the end of tonight, I think more of you will be believers. Because what I'm about to show you, there's no rational explanation for the pattern. So Monday we talked about Elisa Lamb. She was 21. She was a Canadian student. She had bipolar disorder. She was alone, traveling. She checked into the Cecil Hotel on January the 26th on 2013, and she stayed in a hostel, which is a room where there is more than one person staying. She became very erratic. She disappeared on January the 31st and was found dead in the water tank on February the 19th. She had been in there for 2 to 3 weeks. The coroner was able to determine. On Wednesday, we spoke about the elevator footage. We analyzed her bizarre behavior, the discovery in the body, in the tank, the autopsy. It was labeled as a drowning, no trauma. The toxicology report came back and she had not been taking her medication the way that she should have been. She was only taking 1 and she was on 4. So the official ruling was an accidental drowning, which was caused by a mental health episode. Now tonight, we're going to give the full story of the Cecil Hotel. In 1924 through 2013, we're going to do the complete dark story chronologically. I'm going to point out some unalivings, schmurders, every evil movement that took place in this hotel. Whether you know it or not, Richard Ramirez was the Night Stalker, and he stayed at the Cecil Hotel. Jack Unterweger was a serial unaliver. He stayed at the Cecil Hotel. We're going to talk about why that this building seems to attract death, the theories about Elisa, and then my verdict, or what I think happened. But tonight is about the building, because the Cecil Hotel is the key to understanding. So, are you ready? Let's go back to the beginning, shall we? Let me see in the comments. (1924) Los Angeles is booming. It's 1920s Los Angeles. It's downtown. It's bustling. Hollywood is exploding. People are moving to California for opportunity, glamour, the American dream. Downtown Los Angeles is the center of business, commerce, and culture. And someone decides to build a hotel, a luxury hotel now for travelers and the wealthy, for businessmen. It opens on December the 19th, and there was a grand opening. Beautiful Beaux Arts architecture, elegant exterior. It was built by William Banks Hanna, and he was very wealthy in his own right. He was a hoteler, he was an entrepreneur, he was an architect as well, but he hired Loy Lester Smith to design and build the Cecil Hotel. The cost of it back in 1924 was $1 million, which was a huge amount in 1924. The rooms had 700. That's huge. He wanted something that was going to outdo everyone else. It had 14 floors and a rooftop. Now the style was Beaux Arts architecture, beautiful lobby, very elegant. Billboards were put up, posters were put up introducing the Cecil Hotel. And the vision was that this would be the luxury hotel in downtown LA, competing with all the other hotels. So opening night was absolutely glamorous. Celebrities attended, press coverage, success. The 1920s hotel advertisement said, "The Cecil Hotel, luxury accommodations in the heart of Los Angeles." So the first few years from 1924 to 1929, the Cecil is thriving. Full occupancy, wealthy guests, respectable reputation. It's a profitable business. But then, in 1929, the stock market crashes. The newspaper headline read, "Stock market crashes, Black Tuesday." And that is when the Great Depression begins. Everything changes. Economy collapses. People lose jobs, savings, their homes. Businesses close. Downtown LA begins to decline very, very rapidly. Wealthy people leave the city. The Cecil loses its clientele. Downtown LA that was thriving and had the wealthy, it becomes Skid Row. It's homeless encampments. Skid Row is an area of downtown LA that was around the Cecil. It becomes an epicenter of poverty and homelessness. Thousands of people living on the streets, missions, shelters, cheap housing in the area. The crime increases dramatically. Theft, assault, drug dealing, schmurder. By 1930, Skid Row is established. and dangerous, as you can see in this photo. Deplorable living conditions. Now, the Cecil Hotel is right in the middle of Skid Row. And thank you for that. And by the 1930s, the Cecil Hotel is no longer luxury. At this point, it has went down just like everything else has. It's cheap. It's a transient hotel for poor people that are scraping together money for a room. Homeless people saving up for at least one night indoors so they don't have to be in the rain. Long-term residents who pay weekly or monthly. They can't afford anywhere else. But it also became a beacon for drifters, criminals, people hiding from the law. Just how quickly that the Cecil went down was rapid. And that is when the darkness begins. The first death was W.K. Norton. He was age 46. He checks into the Cecil and takes a room on the 5th floor. He ingests poison. He dies in his room. This is the first recorded death at the Cecil Hotel. Now, it may not have been the first, but it's the first one that is on record. The hotel staff find him days later. They smell him. The police are called. There's an investigation. The hotel cleans the room and rents it to the next guest. Business as usual. But this is the beginning of a terrible pattern. So, seekers, 1924, luxury hotel opens. 1929, the Great Depression destroys this dream. In 1930, becomes Skid Row, which is a transient hotel. 1931, first suicide. The fall from grace is complete. What are your thoughts on this transition? Cherish says less than 10 years from opening. Right. Hello, Carol. Mia says, wow. Yeah, absolutely crazy. Mary says, PU. Right. Men from the West 420, hello, welcome in. Yeah, so it went down very rapidly. So the Cecil went from glamorous to deadly in less than a decade. And unfortunately, The deaths only keep coming. In the 1940s, it is World War II. America's at war. But at the Cecil Hotel, there was a different kind of war happening. A war against hope, against life, against the will to survive. In the 1940s, there are multiple unalivings. The exact number is unknown, but the records are incomplete. Hotels don't always report deaths immediately. But the documented cases include 1940s, an unknown man overdoses in a room. 1941, a woman jumps from the 5th floor window. Another woman jumps from an 8th floor window. In 1944, this is the year that changes everything. In 1944, there was a woman by the name of Dorothy Jean Purcell. This is her mugshot. Who she was. Dorothy Jean Purcell was age 19, just a baby. She's living at the Cecil Hotel with her boyfriend, who is a runaway, been to jail a couple times, got out. So this is what happened. In September of 1944, Dorothy goes into labor in her room at the Cecil. She is alone. Her boyfriend is out. She suspects that he's probably in jail. She gives birth to a baby boy. Now, according to Dorothy, the baby, unfortunately, was born stillborn. We all know what that means. So she panicked because she was afraid that she was going to be accused. What she did, she opened the window, took the baby, and tossed it out. So that is the window. The baby's body unfortunately landed in the alley below. A pedestrian found it the next morning. There was a police investigation and Dorothy was arrested, and she was charged with her unborn child's murder. Her defense was, but it was already dead. I didn't know what to do. I was panicked. The trial. The medical examiner could not definitively determine if the baby was indeed stillborn because it was too damaged from the fall. Dorothy was convicted of manslaughter, not first degree. She was sentenced to prison. This case ends up making national headlines. The hotel's reputation takes a major hit because of this. But unfortunately, the deaths continue. Did you know that there was so much death at the Cecil Hotel? Multiple overdoses are reported in the late 1940s. There was another unaliving, a hanging, and then yet another person jumps from a window. By 1949, the Cecil Hotel has become a reputation as a dangerous, depressing, dark place. But the worst is yet to come. So Seekers, 1940s, multiple unalivings, and in 1944, Dorothy Purcell throws her baby from a window. Whether it was alive or unalive is unclear. The Cecil makes national news, but for tragedy, this building is becoming synonymous with death. What is your reaction to this? Let me see it in the comments. Hello, Sally. It is unbelievable how many, hey, God's little warrior. Hello, Rachel Lightworker. Oh, I love your name. Thank you for all the comments. Oh, thank you for the first heart. I feel honored. Thank you so much, God's little warrior. Love all the weird and unusual. Well, you are in the right place. She did get in trouble, big time. So awesome to see everyone here and getting involved in this case. I had no idea what was involved in the Cecil when I decided to take this on. I had no idea, but I can honestly say it has been the most engrossing case that I have covered yet. Just absolutely insane. Now, we are only 25 years into this hotel's history, and already it's a place of death. But I hate to tell you, the 1950s through the 1960s are even worse. The Cecil becomes labeled as the unaliving hotel. It's the darkest decades, 20 years. And during this period, the Cecil, this beautiful hotel that was built in 1924, earns a new nickname. The Unaliving Hotel. You can put whatever word in there that you want. Why was it called the Unaliving Hotel? Well, because people kept jumping out of windows. Now remember, there were 14 floors, 700 rooms. Let me talk with you about some of them. 1954 was a woman by the name of Helen Gurney. She was aged 55 years old. Her room was on the 7th floor, and this is what happened. It was October the 22nd, 1954, in the morning. Helen Gurney opens her 7th floor window. She climbs onto the small ledge. She jumps. She falls 7 stories, lands on the sidewalk below. She dies instantly. Now, the sad part about this is why? The police investigate and they find the unaliving note in her room. It reads, "I can't go on. There's nothing left." She is depressed, alone, and hopeless. The Cecil was her last address. Now, what is sad about this is when she fell, before she hit the pavement, she fell on a pedestrian, and they both passed as a result of her jumping. In 1962, there was a woman by the name of Julia Moore. She was aged 50 years old. Her room was on the 8th floor. What happened? On February the 11th, 1962, Julia Moore jumps from the 8th floor window. She dies. I was not able to find an image for that one, but I did find something that said that this is what was stated in the paper. Another unaliving at the unaliving hotel. Woman jumps from the 8th floor. There was no note found for her. Now, her family later says that she was deeply depressed, struggling financially, and the Cecil was the only place that she could afford at $20 a night. In 1962, there was another woman. Her name was Pauline Oten. Now, she was 27 years old, and she was on the 9th floor. This one is especially tragic as well, because what happened? Well, on October the 12th, 1962, in the afternoon, Pauline Oten is depressed. She is arguing with her estranged husband on the phone. He is leaving her and threatening to just take everything from her. She hangs up, opens her window, and jumps. But as she's falling, she too lands on a pedestrian that is walking beneath her. His name was George Giannini. He was age 65, and he was walking on the sidewalk. Pauline hit him so hard when she landed on him that both died instantly. So what is so sad about this is one's unaliving becomes 2 deaths, and the newspapers go crazy. Woman's unaliving kills innocent pedestrian. Cecil Hotel death rises to 2, and the Cecil Hotel's reputation at this point, it just gets even darker. In 1964, there was a lady by the name of Goldie Osgood. She was known as Pigeon Goldie. Now, this is not an unaliving. This was a schmurder. So, Goldie Osgood, I was not able to find a photo of her, but I was able to find this. Well, actually, yes. So that is Goldie, and she was received the nickname of Pigeon Goldie because she fed pigeons. It reminds me of the woman on Home Alone 2. So that was her nickname, and she was a retired telephone operator. She lived at the Cecil long term. She paid weekly rent, and her room was on the 4th floor. What happened? Well, on June the 4th, 1964, Goldie doesn't come down for breakfast. Usual. I mean, the staff counts on her being there. And after a few days of her not showing up, they go to check. They found her body in her room. She had been murdered. She had been poked 17 times. She had been badly assaulted. Her room was ransacked. Someone was obviously looking for something in there, and she had been dead for at least 2 to 3 days before she was discovered. The LAPD, so the detectives investigate and they interview other residents, staff, anything. And there is no witnesses, no suspects, no leads. And the case goes cold. So it's unsolved. And Goldie's case remains unsolved to this day. No one was ever arrested, and the killer was never found. Late 1960s, there were more suicides. The jumps continue. In 1965, a man jumps from the 10th floor. In 1967, a woman overdoses in her room. In 1968, a man unalives himself in a room with a belt. And in 1969, there is yet another jump. At this point, the hotel staff just becomes numb to it. And one former employee that was interviewed for it was a formal Cecil hotel owner, said it was almost routine. Someone would jump. We'd call police. They'd clean up the body. We'd clean the room. We'd rent it to the next person. It happened so often that we stopped being shocked. That's how bad it was. So in the 1950s and the 1960s, Helen Gurney jumps, Pauline Oaten jumps, and another pedestrian is unalived. Goldie Osgood is murdered. Multiple other people are unaliving themselves. And once again, the Cecil earns the name of the unaliving hotel. So this is a 20 years of relentless taking of lives. What is your reaction to that? God's little warrior says, I worked in a hotel where they just fell right in front of you. Oh my God. Yes, please, double tap. I know. That is very, very true. Thank you for liking the live. Oh my gosh, that is absolutely horrible. Oh, thank you. If you're not tapping, you're slacking. I love that. I love that. So 20 years, dozens of passings, and we haven't even gotten to the worst part yet about the Cecil Hotel, because in the 1980s, the Cecil becomes home to a serial unaliver. 1970s, the deaths don't stop. 1970s unalivings, multiple jumps from windows, multiple overdoses, and at least one unaliver that was creative in what they did. The exact count of how many unalived themselves at the Cecil, the hotel often didn't report immediately. The police reports from this area are very incomplete. By 1980s, the Cecil Hotel has been standing for 56 years, and it has seen at least 40 to 50 deaths, and that's including natural causes, unalivings, and murders. This is exponentially higher than any normal hotel. Most hotels might see 1 to 2 deaths per decade. Elderly guests, natural causes, but the Cecil was seeing 2 to 3 per year. Why? Well, it was the population. So the Cecil housed severely mentally ill people, no other options for housing, drug addicts, using in rooms, overdosing, alcoholics drinking themselves, to their deaths, homeless people scraping together money for one night, and then people that were unaliving themselves. They were coming to the Cecil specifically to pass. It became a destination for people at the end of their rope. But in 1984, 1985, a different kind of person comes to Cecil. Not someone looking to unalive themselves, but someone looking to unalive. June 1984 to August 1985. Los Angeles is terrorized. Why? Because of a man by the name of the Night Stalker. The Night Stalker was breaking into homes at night, doing terrible things, murdering, and leaving devil symbols. There were random attacks. There was no pattern. No one was safe, and the city was in an absolute panic. So let me tell you about the man behind it and his connection to the Cecil Hotel. Richard Ramirez. He was born on February 29th, 1960 in El Paso, Texas. His childhood was he came from an abusive home. His father was violent. He was exposed to violence very young. His cousin was a Vietnam vet, showed him graphic war photos, and was actually the one that taught him techniques. He witnessed his cousin unaliving his wife. I will not go into detail about that, but Richard was 13 when this happened. He started using drugs as a teenager, marijuana, LSD, cocaine, and he dropped out of high school. In the early 1980s, he moved to California. He became addicted to cocaine and was using it heavily. He had petty crimes that he was doing, theft, burglary, and developed an obsession with Satanism, violence, and serial unalivers. By 1984, Richard Ramirez is 24 years old. He was homeless, he was a drug addict, and he was very violent. And he's about to become one of America's most notorious serial unalivers. Let's stop there. We are going to take a 10-minute intermission, and when we come back, we will continue with the haunted, dark, terrible history of the Cecil Hotel. Thank you so much for the taps. Hello, Broly30. Oh, wow. Hey, Blondie76. Oh, that's terrifying, Cherish. I can imagine that that was very scary. Hey, Bonnie Lass. Oh no, don't look back. You know, Bonnie Lass, that is a very good question. Very good question. Yeah, they do. That's true. Right, Diana? I couldn't agree more. You would have thought that they would have safetied the windows, like put wire on them or metal bars or something. Hello. If you see Twisted Tales Live Creator in the chat, I am, so I can see the chat because now that I'm doing images and everything, I like to keep that up so I don't have to come in and out, in and out. 2 minutes. Oh, Sandy. I'm so glad you like it. Yeah, Tigger, it's scary. I've watched several documentaries on it. What a nice turnout tonight. Great job. Isn't it exciting? We are growing a community here. We are growing a community of paranormal lovers who love all these big cases from across the world. And if you have a case that you want me to cover, that you want the seekers to investigate, drop it in the chat. I am craving a cheeseburger with lettuce, tomato, mayo, pickles, and onions. Like, so bad right now. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That is in the works. Goddess Lovely. And the Stuntley Hotel. For sure. I think my husband, Mr. Night Queen, got a smash burger, I believe. And little Miss Night Queen, she likes the cheese sticks. All right. If you haven't shared the live, now's the time. If you haven't reposted, now's the time. If you are not tapping, who was it that said if you're not tapping, you're slacking? I thought that was great. I absolutely loved it. Oh, cherish. Italian. Okay, just tell me, did you get some really good bread to go with it? Because if you did, I'm going to be so jelly. I love bread. I sound like Oprah, but I do. All right, let's get back into it. Who's ready? Let me see it in the comments. Thank you for the presents. Thank you for just tapping away. Thank you for tapping your little hearts out. A tapper, not a slacker. That's it. Boom. Right there. Let's go. Good, Tracy. I'm happy to hear that. June the 28th, 1984. The first victim. And Heath 134, thank you for becoming a fan in the fan club. You see your house? Oh. Richard Ramirez's first victim was Jeannie Vinco. She was age 79. To me, that just makes it worse, that it was an older woman that he chose. Ramirez breaks into her apartment in Glassell Park. She's asleep. He does terrible things to her. We'll keep it G on here. He just destroys her. Destroys her body. And then he leaves. And police find her body the next morning. And this is just the beginning. March the 17th, 1985. The attacks escalate. After 9 months of inactivity between winter of 1984 and 1985, Ramirez strikes again. This time it's Maria Hernandez. She's age 22. And Ramirez pews her in the face as she enters her condo. Amazingly, she survives. The bullet ricochets off the keys in her hand and does not unalive her. She runs inside. Ramirez follows. Dale Okazaki is age 34, and that is Maria's roommate. So Ramirez is able to unalive her. And then he flees. Same night, 30 minutes later, Tsai Lian Yu is age 30. Ramirez pulls her from her car, pews her, leaves her for being unalived, and she does indeed pass later. 2 murders in one night. March the 27th, 1985, the Zerreras. Vincent Zazera, age 64. Maxine Zazera, age 44. Ramirez breaks into their home in Whittier, California. He pews Vincent multiple times and unalives him. Maxine, he attacks her in the bedroom. Pews her repeatedly, and then does terrible things to her body. If you have read Richard Ramirez accounts, he's a monster, an absolute monster. And he leaves behind a satanic symbol when he's done. This is the most brutal attack yet, and the media goes insane. Police are desperate to catch him. The terror just intensifies between May through August of 1985. May the 14th, Harold Wu and Jean Wu are attacked. And Harold passes, Jean does not. May the 29th through the 30th, multiple attacks, 2 deaths. In July, multiple attacks across LA. And in August, there's just a peak of terror. By August 1985, at least 13 people have been unalived. Multiple others assaulted, abused, I'm not going to use the word, and traumatized. Los Angeles is in a panic. People buying pew-pews, alarm systems being put in, sleeping with lights on, afraid to be home alone. The Night Stalker could strike anywhere, anyone, at any time. Media coverage is constant. But no one knows who he is. No one has caught him. And the entire time, Richard Ramirez is living at the Cecil Hotel. The exterior is completely worn down by this point, and when he stayed, it was between 1984 to 1985, and this was during his entire unaliving spree. So where did he stay in the Cecil? Well, he rented rooms on a nightly basis and just came and went. He paid $14 per night, which was incredibly cheap, even for 1985. This was typically one of the rooms in the Cecil. So, why the Cecil? Well, because it was perfect for a serial unaliver. It was cheap. He had no money, spent everything on his drugs. No questions were ever asked. Staff didn't pay attention. Transient population, anonymity. It was perfect for him. Cash payments, no paper trail, Skid Row location, easy to blend in, access to his victims, and the proximity, he could access different LA neighborhoods. What he did there? Well, he used the Cecil Hotel as his base. He slept there between attacks and would return after murdering someone. He would dispose of his bloody clothing in dumpsters behind the hotel, and he would shower, change, sleep, wake up, use drugs, and go out to hunt again. So this is behind the Cecil, and these are the dumpsters. Other guests saw him Multiple guests and staff later remembered seeing Ramirez. He had a very unkempt appearance, long, greasy hair, rotting teeth from meth use, smelled bad, really bad BO, blood, chemicals, came and went in strange hours at night and kept to himself. But no one had any idea who he was. The Night Stalker was sleeping in the same building as them, walking the same hallways, using the same elevators, standing in the same lobby. And they had no idea. August 1985, Ramirez is caught. It was August the 30th, 1985. Ramirez attacks in Mission Viejo. It was an attempted murder. The victim's husband chases him, gets his license plate number. Police trace the car and find Ramirez's fingerprints. August the 31st, 1985. Police release Richard Ramirez mugshot to the media. This is the Night Stalker. If you see him, report it. Call the police. So Ramirez doesn't know that his photo has been released. And he goes to a convenience store in East LA, and the customers recognize him. And one lady points and says, "Oh my God, that's him! That's the Night Stalker!" So they chase him. The mob tackles him. I thought that was hilarious. Was so happy about that. And the police arrest him. So they chase him, and the Night Stalker's reign of terror ends. Now, I was able to find the newspaper headline, but there was no picture to go along with it. But basically, it said, "Night Stalker lives at the Cecil Hotel. Serial unaliver used Skid Row Hotel as his base. The Cecil connection is revealed. LAPD investigates Ramirez movements, and the hotel staff are interviewed." Yes, he stayed here. I mean, many nights we saw him, but we didn't know that he was, oh my God. Ramirez trial. This guy is so evil. So he was convicted of 13 unalivings, 5 attempted murders, and 11 assaults, 14 burglaries. He was sentenced to be unalived, and he was sent to San Quentin State Prison. It's June the 7th, 2013. Richard Ramirez passes in prison from natural causes. He dies of cancer at age 53. He, had aged. He had been in prison for quite some time. He never exposed or expressed any remorse for any of his victims, never apologized, and he died unrepentant. So 1984 to 1985, seekers, Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, has committed all these crimes and lived at the Cecil Hotel during his entire unaliving spree. used it as his base between his murders. Hotel staff and guests had no idea. What's your reaction to that? Hey, Jess. Hey, Christy Davis. Palm, thank you for the beautiful hanging lights. Thank you so much. You're right on time. Oh, I've actually heard of that, yeah. Thank you for the rose. Thank you, thank you. It's crazy. It's just absolutely insane. So, just imagine staying at the Cecil in 1985, sleeping in the room next to a serial unaliver, passing him in the hallway, sharing an elevator, and not knowing. But unbelievably, seekers, Richard Ramirez is not the only serial unaliver at the Cecil. 6 years later, another one checks in. So who is the second serial unaliver? In 1991, 6 years after the Night Stalker, another serial unaliver comes to Los Angeles, and he stays at the Cecil Hotel. But this unaliver is different. He's sophisticated, educated, he's a celebrity, and no one suspects him until it's too late. His name is Jack Unterweger. He was born in August the 16th, 1950 in Judenberg, Austria. His childhood was pretty bad. His mother was a prostitute, an alcoholic, neglectful, and rejected him. Never knew his father. He was raised by an abusive, alcoholic grandfather. He ran away from home at age 16, and he became a petty criminal, theft, assault. In 1974, he committed his first murder. It was December the 11th, 1974. Jack at the time was age 24, and he picks up a 18-year-old woman named Margaret Schaefer. He takes her to a forest. He unalives her with her own unmentionable. Her death was severe, and he leaves her body in the woods. He is caught, he is arrested, and he is convicted of murder. So this is the newspaper clipping that I was able to find of him. So he is sentenced to life in prison, actually, in Austria. He is in prison from 1974 until 1990. And Jack Unterweger spends 16 years in prison. But he doesn't waste his time. Because while he is in there, he is reading, he is writing, he educates himself. And he learns to read and write. He was nearly illiterate before going to prison. He reads voraciously literature, philosophy, psychology, and he teaches himself multiple languages. He becomes a writer. He writes poetry, short stories, plays, writes an autobiography called Purgatory of the Trip to Prison. A report of a guilty man. And the book is published in 1982, and it becomes a bestseller in Austria. This is the copy of his book. So, he becomes a celebrity. He becomes very intellectual, a celebrity. Politicians champion him. He is a reformed man, a changed man. And he's proof that rehabilitation works. And he becomes a famous Austrian writer, an actor, and he politics on campaigns. In 1990, Unterweger is released from prison. I would attempt to say that, but y'all would all laugh at me. So he's released from prison after 15 years and 10 months. Austrian authorities grant him parole because the public believes that he's reformed. He's not reformed. He's just learned to hide better. In 1990 to 1991, Unterweger becomes a journalist. And he gets a job as a journalist with an Austrian magazine, newspapers, writes about crime, prisons, criminal justice. He becomes a TV personality and hosts a show about crime. He is respected, he is admired, and he is trusted. But behind the scenes, between 1990 to 1991, Unterweger murders at least 6 women in Austria and Czechoslovakia. All sex workers, all unalived with their own clothing. That was his signature. And the bodies are found in the forest, dumped in different locations. But police don't connect them because each jurisdiction investigates separately, so no one suspects that the famous reformed ex-convict journalist is an unaliver. 1991, Unterweger comes to Los Angeles. And this is his assignment. Spring 1991, an Austrian magazine sends Unterweger to Los Angeles. His mission is to write about crime, prostitution, and policing in America. He even does a ride-along with an LAPD. He interviews sex workers and documents the seedy side of LA. He arrives in LA on June of 1991, where he stays, which is at the Cecil Hotel. Why? Well, because it's cheap. The magazine is paying, but he wants to save money for drugs and other things. Skid Row location is perfect for his story about prostitution and access to victims. Sex workers are already there on the streets, and there is anonymity. No one knows him in LA. What he does, day by day, he rides with the LAPD. They have no idea who he really is. He interviews these workers on the streets. He's scouting his victims. He takes notes, photographs, appears completely professional and respectable. By night, he picks up these workers, drives them to secluded areas, unalives them with their own unmentionables. That is his signature, dumps the bodies, and returns to the Cecil Hotel. From June to July of 1991, 3 women are unalived. The first victim is Shannon Exley. She is age 36. No, 35. I'm sorry. She is a street worker. She disappeared on June 1991, found unalived in the alley, and she was unalived with her own. Victim 2 was Renee Rodriguez. She too was a street worker, disappeared July 1991. Same thing, found unalived near the freeway, and too was unalived with her own clothing. And then victim number 3 was Sherry Long. She was a street worker, disappeared July 1991. She was found unalived, and she too was unalived with her own clothing. The LAPD investigates because it's 3 unalived street workers, a similar method, clearly connected. But there are no suspects, no witnesses, no leads. Meanwhile, Jack Underweger is writing articles about his experience in LA. He's interviewing detectives about these very murders. He's hiding in plain sight. July 1991, Unterweger returns to Austria. He completes his assignment and returns to Vienna. He continues unaliving in Europe. Late 1991 and 1992, he unalives people in Austria, Czechoslovakia, and Switzerland. At least 3 to 4 more women are unalived, all street workers, all strangled. In 1992, the pattern is noticed. They start putting 2 and 2 together. So a detective in Austria makes a connection. And one detective notices that there are multiple unalived street workers, similar method. Timeline coincides with Jack Unterweger's travels. So the Austrian police end up contacting the LAPD, and they say, we have a suspect. He was in Los Angeles June through July of 1991. Do you have any similar unsolved murders? LAPD checks. Why, yes, there is. 3 unalived street workers. Same time frame, same method. Jack Unterweger becomes the primary suspect. In February the 27th, 1992, an arrest is made. The Austrian police arrest Jack. And he denies everything in Austria in 1992. But the evidence just mounts up against him. Victims' timelines match his travel. Methods match his 1974 murder. Witnesses place him with the victims, and fibers from his car match fibers that are on the bodies. In 1994, the trial begins. And he was charged with 11 murders, 9 in Europe, 2 confirmed in LA, possibly more. It's June the 28th, 1994, and the verdict is guilty on 9 counts of murder. And he is sentenced to life in prison without parole. June the 29th, 1944, hours after his conviction, Jack Unterweger is a coward and he unalives himself in his cell. He uses his prison jumpsuit drawstring and unalives himself the same way that he unalived his victims. He passes at age 43. So you have 2 serial unalivers that stayed at the Cecil Hotel. 6 years apart. 13 plus victims unalived by Ramirez, 3 victims unalived by Unterweger while living at the Cecil. At least 16 people were murdered by unalivers who called the Cecil Hotel home. So seekers, 1991, Jack Unterweger, the Australian serial unaliver, 11 total murders, 3 in LA, lived at the Cecil while unaliving. 2 serial unalivers, same hotel. What's your reaction to that? Let me see it in the chat. Within hours of being arrested. Hey, Bird Lady, welcome in. Hey, Erwin, how are you, darling? At least they caught him. Yeah, definitely. Yes, X, he was the global unaliver, for sure. Hey, Donnie BB, welcome in. Writes his own story. I had heard, maybe, thank you for the roses. I had heard a little bit about him, but not to, that extent. Shirley says, it's freaking crazy. T-Girl says they were possessed. Thank you so much for the roses. Let me see who did that. I think it was Donnie BB, I believe. Thank you so, so much. Thank you. McBaby, thank you so much. Tigger, never heard of him till now. Well, that's why we do this. So, 2 of the most notorious serial unalivers in modern history. Both lived at the Cecil Hotel. Both used it as a base for their camp. Is it coincidence, or Does this building attract evil? Let's continue the timeline. 1990s to the 2000s, the deaths just continue. And by this time, it's so run down. In the 1990s, 1992, an unidentified man was found unalived in his room, probably from an overdose. In 1995, multiple overdose deaths. In 1998, another unaliving out of a window. And in 1999, a man jumps from a window again. In 2001 is another overdose. 2003 is another jumping from a window. In 2005, another overdose. And then 2007 was a pigeon Goldie. Now, no, I'm not repeating. There were two different pigeon Goldies. In 2007, there was another lady by the same name. She was an unidentified woman, but her nickname was Goldie because the locals called her this because she fed pigeons, just like the 1964 murder victim. She lived at the Cecil long-term, homeless, but scraped together weekly rent. What happened? Well, she died in her own room. They do say that it was natural causes because she was elderly and had health issues, but she had passed for several days before anyone found her. And it was the smell that finally alerted the staff. This highlights the Cecil's problem. People die there and no one notices for days. By 2010, let me see if I can find the comparison. I don't see it. Anyway, the Cecil Hotel versus average hotel death rates. The Cecil Hotel has been standing for 86 years. The estimated death toll, are you ready? 80 to 100 plus deaths. Oh, major cold chills have happened in this hotel. This is, of course, the unalivings, the schmurders, overdose, etc. and natural causes. This is exponentially higher than any comparable hotel. The Cecil has a reputation. It is also known as the Schmurder Hotel, the Unalive Hotel, the hotel that death built, the most dangerous hotel in America, and the most haunted, cursed, and evil hotel in America. In 2011, someone gets the idea to do a rebrand. And the rebrand is Stay on Main. The Cecil tries to change. The rebrand as Stay on Main markets to budget travelers, backpackers, tries to attract international tourists, and they lower their prices even more to get this $20 to $30 for shared rooms. So they are really trying to appeal to travelers. Does it work? Partially. Some young travelers stay there attracted by low prices. Reviews are mixed, cheap but sketchy. You get what you pay for. but the dark history persists. And it is in 2013 that Elisa Lam arrives. January the 26th, 2013, a 21-year-old woman named Elisa Lam checks in. So seekers, 1990s to 2013, more deaths, unalivings, overdoses. Another pigeon, Goldie, dies alone, not found for days. 2011 rebranded as Stay on Main. By 2013, the Cecil has over 100 plus deaths in 89 years. Then Elisa arrives. React to this timeline of darkness in the chat. It blows my mind. Ghostest of the mostest. Donnie BB says. Oh, happy early birthday to your father, your son's father's birthday. Most tested. Taylor, hello, welcome in. There is not. Not sure. Chariots of Fire, hello, darling. Thank you to everyone for the presents. You have a request? Put it in the chat for me. So, 100 plus deaths. That is just insane. You know, from unaliving, murders, serial unalivers, neglect, evil. This is the building that Elisa Lam walked into. Now let's talk about why. Why does death seem to follow this place? Why does the Cecil Hotel have so many deaths? I guess that's, you know, my question. Let me present every theory. So theory number one is the socioeconomic factors. The argument is that the Cecil's death toll is explained by the population and location because of the Skid Row demographics, extreme poverty, people with nothing to lose, mental illness, untreated, severe, no access to care, drug addiction, overdose deaths, hopelessness, unaliving ideation. The Cecil houses the most vulnerable people in society, so of course there are more deaths here than at a suburban Holiday Inn. It's not paranormal, it's poverty. Theory number two, the building is cursed. The argument, the pattern is too extreme to be coincidence. Questions? Why this building specifically? Other Skid Row hotels don't have this death toll. Why do two serial unalivers choose this hotel? Ooh, I just got cold chills. Why do people report paranormal phenomena at this hotel? Something is wrong with the building? Possible explanations. Cursed land, built on a land with dark history. The land itself is cursed. accumulated negative energy. Each death adds to the darkness. Spirits of victims remain. Energy builds over decades. Building becomes infected with death. Someone said this earlier in the chat, I forget who, but said, is it a portal or a doorway? The building could be a portal to another dimension. It could be a demonic presence. The building itself is alive. It is a sentient evil. It feeds on death, attracts vulnerable people, and causes death to sustain itself. And then theory 3 is a combination of both factors. It's both rational and paranormal. The Cecil attracts vulnerable people, rational, but the building's dark energy makes things worse. So, a vulnerable person checks in, poor mental health, unaliving possible, building's dark energy amplifies their struggles. Paranoia increases, hallucinations worsen, hopelessness, they pass away from whatever cause, their death adds to the building's energy, and the cycle just continues to viciously repeat. This is a feedback loop, reality and supernatural working. So, those are the theories. Seekers, why does the Cecil have so many deaths? Drop your theory. Do you think it's rational? Poverty, mental illness, addiction, cursed, paranormal, dark energy, evil building, both a combination of rational and supernatural, or unsure? Let me see it in the chats. Tigger says all of that. Raybab says all of them. Right, that's a great question. Really great. Who asked that? Oh, that was X. Yeah, that's a good one. It could be any of those, but paranormal activities are there. Thinking all of above, as you mentioned. So this is the core question. And it's the key to understanding what happened to Elisa, because I believe it's both. And let me explain. So what happened to Elisa Lam? Let me quickly review the main theories. Number one, that it was an accidental death. That is what the official ruling was, that she stopped taking meds, a psychotic episode, poor judgment, and drowned. And that was the official ruling, and there is strong evidence to support that. Theory 2 is murder. Someone unalived her, staged it as an accident. Weak evidence, though, because there's no trauma, no suspects, and no motive. Theory number 3, unalived herself, deliberately chose to die. Weak evidence, though. No note, family disagrees, and it's a very unusual method. And then theory number 4, paranormal. The Cecil Hotel's dark energy. Entities influenced or caused her death. It cannot be scientifically proven, but the pattern is undeniable. And then theory number 5 is hotel negligence. The Cecil security failures enabled her death. True, but not the primary cause. Now, my verdict. After 3 nights of investigation, After examining 100 years of the Cecil Hotel's dark history, after looking at all the evidence about Elisa, here's what I believe. My verdict, it's all three. So, here's the death rate. 80 deaths in 90 years. Average hotel, 30 deaths in 90 years. And of course, I've got the percentages, and all that. I believe that Elisa Lam's death was caused by a combination of factors. I think, number one, that it was mental health. I think that was the primary cause. I think that the Cecil Hotel's dark energy contributed. I think that there was possible foul play. I just cannot rule it out. And I've tried. So factor number one, this is fact, not theory. Elisa stopped taking 3 of her 4 psychiatric medications. And that's another chart that I have. She stopped taking them. The toxicology report confirms this. This is the actual toxicology report here. And it confirmed it. This caused a psychotic, manic episode. So I believe that there was some paranoia involved. I believe she was being followed. I think she could have been hallucinating, seeing, hearing things that weren't there. I think there was confusion, disorientation, or poor judgment. I think there was genuine terror. There was fear, whether rational or not. Her behavior in the elevator matches untreated bipolar disorder. And mental health experts confirm this. I also believe that Elisa was experiencing a severe mental health crisis. And this is the primary cause of what happened. Without this crisis, I don't think she would have died. This is medical fact, and I believe the science. Factor number 2, though, I believe this. The Cecil Hotel is dark energy. But here's where I diverge from the official ruling. I believe that the Cecil Hotel has something dark in it. Not just socioeconomic factors, something more. And why I believe this? Because of the 100 years of death. 100 plus deaths in one building. 2 serial unalivers chose this hotel, not others on Skid Row. Countless reports of paranormal phenomena. People feel something wrong there. This is not normal. This is not just poverty. I believe that the Cecil Hotel has accumulated dark energy over 100 years, whether it's spirits of all those victims who remain, a demonic presence, cursed land, or just overwhelming negative energy. Something is there. I also believe that the building's dark energy amplified her mental health. She was already paranoid from stopping meds, but the Cecil made it worse. The oppressive atmosphere, the feeling of being watched, that so many guests report, the actual creepy people in the hallways, and the building's history of death. If Elisa had been at a Holiday Inn experiencing the same psychotic episode, would she have died? Maybe not. But at the Cecil, the darkness amplified her fears, made her confusion more severe, and made her paranoia more intense. The building didn't cause her mental health crisis, but it made it worse. It pushed her toward the edge. I believe the Cecil hotel contributed to her death. Factor number 3. Foul play cannot definitively be ruled out. And here's the part that haunts me. I can't 100% rule out that someone else was involved. Why? There are so many unanswered questions. 1, how did she access the roof? The door should have been locked. An alarm should have sounded. No record of her key card being used. Did someone let her up there? Why that specific water tank? 4 tanks on the roof. She chose or entered the 4th one. Random? Or was she led there? Her missing belongings, glasses never found. Phone never found. Where are they? The elevator behavior could be psychosis, could also be fear of a real person. Was someone following her off camera? Her clothes in the tank, removed after entering water? Paradoxal undressing, psychosis explanation, or someone removed them? Look, the autopsy found no trauma, no evidence of murder, but autopsy findings don't rule out all forms of foul play. Someone could have coerced her to the roof. No physical force needed. Someone could have threatened her. Psychological coercion. Someone could have been there when she entered the tank. Didn't physically push her, but didn't stop her either. Now, I'm not saying that someone definitely unalived Elisa. I'm saying I can't prove that no one was involved. The evidence doesn't conclusively prove that she was alone. And in a building with a Cecil's history, in a building where 2 unalivers lived, in a building with 100 years of violence, I can't dismiss the possibility that something sinister happened. Do you agree with me? Do you not? Let me know in the chat. I believe that Elisa Lam died because 3 things converged. Her mental health crisis, the Cecil Hotel's dark history, and possible human involvement. All 3 factors together created a perfect storm. If any of these factors had been different, it all could have been different. If she stayed at a different hotel, if she took her meds, if someone was involved and hadn't been, she might have survived. But all 3 converged, unfortunately, and Elisa died. Agree, 100%. Agree, yes, I agree, agree. Beautiful, how's your day going? Oh, hey, Mandy. Someone told her to do it, Pink says. The unknown is so frustrating. Right. Was it a dare? Perhaps. Perhaps. Hotel's negligence? Yes. Why am I not giving a simple answer? Because this case doesn't deserve one. I'm not going to tell you that it was definitely just mental illness, or it was definitely paranormal, or it was definitely murder. The truth is more complex. I don't have all the answers here, and neither does anyone else. So I do believe that the Cecil Hotel darkness played a big role. But my verdict is her primary cause was she stopped her meds. And you know the rest. 3 nights, 100 years of darkness. 1 young woman. These are the lessons. We go over this at the end of every case. I don't want to tell you what to do, but if you do have a mental illness, please take your medications. If a place feels wrong, trust your instincts. Leave. I think that we have had great respect for the victims and families in this story. Elisa isn't the only one who passed at the Cecil. Over 100 plus victims did, and they all deserve to be remembered. What are you going to take away from this investigation? If you would, please drop a heart for investigating with respect, a candle for mental health awareness, a blue heart for Elisa Lamb, and a green heart for all of the Cecil's victims. Thank you, night dwellers, seekers, for 3 nights. You honored these victims with me, and we told their story. The last thing that I will say is Elisa was excited. She took a chance and went off alone. And she was brilliant and brave. She deserved to write her stories and to live her dreams. But rest in peace now, Elisa Lamb, because you are free. It has been a pleasure being with you these past 3 nights. Thank you for this investigation. Thank you for seeking with me. Case closed. Until next time, seekers. Remember this. Some stories are meant to be heard. Others are meant to be carried. Carry this one carefully. Good night, seekers, and I will see you again Monday night for our next Paranormal Files Live case number 8. Good night.